Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Monkey Wrench. I'm Kelly, the monkey with the wrench. Today we're going to be doing a repair on a trailer. This is a customer's of mine. He has long been in need of repair. You can see that all this steel has come undone, and it's worse on the other side. That's the problem with this stretched steel mesh, that they only weld it in a few spots, and those spots break free. There's one. We move all the way up. There's one. There's one. There's one. So they don't weld every one. And then the problem when you're running your machine on top of it is, once those start to break free, they all start to break free until you get this mess going on. Please subscribe. So what we're going to be doing is banging and bending. We got to get this back up. We got to get some welds in the side of it and try and make this trailer usable for him again. He's also missing on this side, the hinge is broken, and I'll show you what I did to fix that. It's a real simple, easy fix. And what we're going to be using here is some clamps, a little persuader. I've got a little ball peen hammer, and we're going to try and bend this stuff back into place, and we're going to get some welds in it. First thing I got to do here, these little pieces that have broken off, this piece broke off of here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's sticking out. So some of these are broken and still welded to it. You need to take a pair of pliers and you need to break those free so that they're not in your way when we bend that back down and get it where we need it so we can get some fresh welds in it. Normally I would tell you that you need to take a grinder and you need to clean up your welds and all that crap, but there's no way for me to get a grinder behind that mesh against the angle iron to be able to do anything. So they're going to be dirty welds. We're basically just going to be doing spot welding once we get it in place. So let me get those tabs broken off and we'll persuade the stuff back into place. I'll show you how I clamp it down, get a couple welds in it, and see if we can make this trailer usable again. These are the pieces that are broken off. You just have to take your pliers, get it on there, give it a few twists, and it'll break right off. Yourself a piece of scrap wood, figure out where you want to start, and I like to use these woodworking clamps because they're longer and I can get to the material that I'm looking to get to. Bring it as much as you can. You may have to use several because once you get it down with this little portion of the clamp, it might not be enough. So you leave that, you take it as far as it'll go, and then you get a second clamp and you can go tighter. And now there's really no trick to this. Basically what I'm trying to do is get the part of the metal that's closest to the edge of the wood so that I can get a tack or two in it here and there. And you're going to have to undo and move the clamp every few inches to get more metal against the angle iron so that you can tack it in place. And I'm going to tack it in just a couple of places and try and tighten this up and make it stronger for them. I'm going to make sure we're grounded. And the more stitches that you put in it, the stronger it's going to be. So I'm going to keep moving my board. I'm going to put it in fast motion for you, and we're going to get this thing tacked up. you don't need to watch that. I'm going to do the same thing all the way the rest of the way down. It's kind of a pain in the butt. You often burn through this light metal trying to get it to attach. It's often not as close to the metal as you want, the channel. So you kind of got to work with it, build up your welds, get the tacks done, get it up there, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. Alright, well, I got this side stitched up. It's not pretty, it doesn't have to be, but you see I went fairly close, burned through on a couple. That's what happens, but you get as many as you can. You get it as close to the metal as you can, build it up the best way you can, and hopefully you can get it stitched up. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. It took me maybe 30 minutes in order to do that, and that was mostly unclamping and reclamping. And I'm going to go ahead and get the other side done. I don't have a trailer hitch to put this thing on so that I can drive the mower on it, but I'll rig something up. We're going to figure it out because I'm going to go ahead and drive the zero turn up on it, make sure it holds. But I'll show you when I'm finished. Alright, and here's the other side. My welder just blew. It was 50 bucks, 40 bucks, and I bought it years ago, and it blew a circuit. I'm not sure if the welder went bad or not, but I got this side stitched up also, and that's pretty much all it takes. So don't be afraid if your welds look dirty or crappy. We're just tacking this stuff. You can't really weld it because it's so thin. All you can do is tack it to the frame. Now let me show you what I did here. He would carry a tire iron with him. And he would stick it in because the pin broke off of his hinge, so it wasn't staying in. So he would just take a tire iron and shove it in there before he bothered to open the gate so that the whole thing wouldn't fall. So all I did was get a 5/8 inch bolt by, I want to say, 6 inches long with a matching nut. That's a nylon nut, so it won't back off, and it's large enough that it won't pull through the hinge. You can put washers on there if you want to, but you're going to have to grind flat spots on those washers. The 5/8 worked for me, and it holds it so it won't fall out. All I'm going to do is tighten it enough to make sure that that nylon lock nut doesn't fall off when he's driving down the road, but not too tight that the hinge drags on itself and won't open and close. And that's all it takes. I tried a 3/4. 3/4 was too large, so 5/8 was as large as I could go. Now, as you can see, I hate that phrase, we're good to go. I can walk on this. I'm walking on it now. Where I welded on both sides, we're back up and we're attached. Now what I'd like to do is get this thing back when he has some time, and from here all the way down right in the center, I'm going to use some angle iron, and I'm going to reinforce right in the center of there because that's where his tires roll. He's the one that rolls that John Deere over there, and that's exactly where his tires go. So once they started popping, every time he went on it, he'd pop another and another and another. So now that they're back up, if we add a piece of steel there and there, that'll take the weight of the tractor on its own, and it won't be putting it on this mesh. But that's it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Don't be afraid to do these projects yourself. I'm sure my welder's fine. I probably just overused it on this little breaker and popped a breaker, but I've been having trouble with it. So I've been thinking about picking up a little arc welder off of Amazon. Seeing good reviews on those. So we may be seeing a new welder here soon. I paid 40 bucks for that thing off of an app like 4 or 5 years ago. Used the crap out of it for everything, including that table that I just built that I use every day. So don't be afraid to break it out. Don't electrocute yourself. Read the directions, watch some videos on how to weld without electrocuting yourself. But anybody can do this stuff. Now he's back in business, and we'll see you on the next one. Hit the like button. It's somewhere between my chin and my balls, and I'll see you soon.